In the dim glow of a bustling Chicago airport terminal, on a crisp October evening in 2026, Elizabeth Hart stepped forward with the unshakable poise of someone who'd never tasted defeat. The overhead lights danced across her sleek navy blazer and the smooth silk of her dress, her every step radiating authority, as if the air itself bent to her will. Across from her stood Rachel Monroe, her eyes steady, her breath slow and deliberate. Their gazes locked, and for a moment, the chaotic hum of the terminal chatter, rolling suitcases, distant announcements faded into nothingness. Only the two women remained, the space between them crackling with unspoken tension. Elizabeth held a single boarding pass between her fingers, inspecting it with a dismissive flick of her wrist, her sharp eyes glinting with disdain. Her lips curled into a faint, almost cruel smirk. Rachel, unflinching, felt a familiar resolve settle over her like armor. The crowd around them buzzed with anticipation, whispers darting through the air like sparks. "Did you see that glare?" someone muttered. "She's barely acknowledging her." Elizabeth's voice, when it came, was low and cutting, though her lips barely moved. "You're in my way," she said, her tone dripping with condescension. Rachel held her ground, her pulse pounding but her voice steady. "I paid for this," she replied, each word slicing through the hush. In a swift, theatrical motion, Elizabeth tossed the boarding pass into the air. It spiraled, catching the light, and landed at Rachel's feet like a challenge. Gasps rippled through the onlookers. Rachel knelt, her fingers closing around the glossy paper, her heart racing with defiance. She rose, eyes locked on Elizabeth, and with a deliberate motion, tore the boarding pass in half. The sound small, sharp echoed like thunder. Elizabeth's composure faltered, her hand frozen midair, a flicker of doubt in her eyes. Rachel's voice cut through the silence. "Maybe now you'll know what it feels like to be dismissed." The terminal erupted. Phones flashed, capturing every second, as the hashtag boarding pass takedown exploded online. Comments flooded social media. "She just shredded her authority." "Rachel's a legend." Elizabeth, her carefully crafted image unraveling, forced a smile. "Let's move on with the evening," she said to the crowd, her voice tight. But the damage was done. Rachel, stepping toward the exit, pulled out her phone and went live. "This isn't about a boarding pass," she said, her voice steady but fierce. "It's about respect. It's about standing up to those who think they're above us. Share this if you believe dignity matters." Her stream surged, thousands watching, hearts and retweets piling up. Back in the terminal, Elizabeth retreated to a private lounge, her phone buzzing with notifications. First-class fall trended globally, clips of her tossing the boarding pass looping endlessly. She typed a shaky apology, her thumb hesitating before hitting send. "I regret any offense caused," she posted, but the internet was merciless. "Too late," one user wrote. Rachel exposed her. Meanwhile, Rachel's words had ignited a movement. Passengers, employees, strangers, her call for respect resonated, their stories of mistreatment flooding the feeds. By morning, Rachel stood at a podium in the airport's executive lounge, announcing a new passenger rights initiative. "No one should feel belittled while traveling," she declared, unveiling plans for bias training, a reporting system, and an oversight committee. The crowd, reporters, passengers, staff hung on her every word. Across the terminal, Elizabeth sat in a quiet break room, no longer in her crisp uniform, helping draft a code of respect. Her voice was softer now, her story a cautionary tale. "I dismissed someone who didn't deserve it," she admitted, her eyes glistening. "I'm here to make it right." As Flight 312 to London finally boarded, the atmosphere had shifted. Smiles replaced glares, kindness replaced contempt. Rachel, seated in first class, unfolded a note from Elizabeth. "Thank you for holding us to better. True leadership is service." The plane took off, carrying not just passengers, but a new promise of dignity. What do you think? Does Elizabeth deserve redemption, or should she face harsher consequences? Can one apology undo a culture of arrogance? Comment below, share your thoughts, and join the conversation for a fairer future. Word count, 2,000 characters.